In professional photography circles, digital users are jumping for joy. Film has almost totally succumbed to digital's might.
Step a little closer to the wall here.
Mark Lyndersay is one of the pioneers of digital photography in TNT. After a quarter century shooting film, he made a transition that is 100% complete. Now you can't get him to take a photo on film, no matter how much you beg.
Photography is a system. For about 25 years, I had a system that supported film, that supported prints. There was a dark room, there was all of that in place. And once I switched over to digital about 5 years ago, little bit by little bit, that whole system went away.
Gone are the days of the dark room. Developing film was a messy, tedious process that Lyndersay is happy to be done with. Photographers today have to be proficient in digital photo editing. But not everyone has been converted by digital's advantages. These photos are from TrinidadDreamscape.net. They're all shot on film by a photographer who would prefer not to be identified. He says digital has no soul and spends his evenings lugging 30 pounds of camera equipment around TNT to capture these images. He says he's stuck with film because he doesn't want anyone to believe that, quote, extraordinary scenes are merely the result of digital manipulation. No Photoshop for him. He also says that digital camera prints look flat and are vaguely plastic looking. With vast experience behind the lens, Lyndersay would beg to differ.
I think you should come by and we should talk. Because, pretty much every picture on this wall in my studio now is printed direct from digital. I worked for many years in a dark room, most of them without air conditioning. It's a smelly, difficult process, but it's one that I embrace because that's the way you made good pictures, by going in and working on it yourself. It's my belief that you can do the same thing now in significantly more comfortable circumstances, but it does require work. It's not a matter of just pulling up a picture on the screen and making a print. You'll have disappointing results that way.
Lyndersay says there will always be room for the film photographer, but it's already become quite difficult to find photo studios to process that film.
There is a lot of value to shooting with film, particularly in larger formats. There's still a big investment in that, but a lot of the big companies are cutting back. Eventually, I believe it's going to become a niche product, a product that's used by serious hobbyists and certain kinds of artists who want to continue working with the medium. I don't think it's going to disappear, but I think that little bit by little bit it's going to disappear from the mainstream.
There'll always be the purists, those who argue that film has soul, but they're increasingly outnumbered by digital photographers who claim to do everything and more than film. Perhaps they can even make this ugly mug beautiful. Robert Clarke, Gaelle News.